You ready?
Two Marines, one damn mic, talking sense and straight senseless all night. This is Sense and Senseless.
I think this is making my brains feel weird or something, dude. I don't know what the hell. It don't hurt.
Welcome back to the Sense and Senseless Podcast. I'm Bryan.
I'm Jason.
Yes, Jason. It was your first time joining us. Welcome to the family. We're just two guys talking shit in a way that everyone can understand. Tonight we got our tinfoil hats on because we're gonna talk about some wild shit. All right, so it's gonna sound wild at first, but it just gets darker since with you. So we're gonna have a little fun. All right.
You okay? Do I need to take this off?
No, you good?
Okay, I didn't know if you're going to be able to handle yourself.
No, I'm good. I think you look great.
Appreciate you, dude.
You
look hot yourself.
We joked before about being able to bet on almost anything. Well, Polymarket makes that real. Tonight, we're going to take it a bit further and link this new style of betting to our reality. We'll look at how reality shows might be conditioning us to treat struggle as entertainment. We'll dig into the human tax idea, where everyday people are treated like livestock being milked more than being citizens. And we'll examine real history, nuclear tests that poison downwind communities without consent, experiments on citizens, radium girls, government admissions, and more. By the end, we'll ask the uncomfortable question. After seeing what they, them have already done, do you believe they're capable of turning survival into the ultimate live game show? Stick around. Please like, share, follow, and subscribe. We appreciate every single one of you. Jason. Got anything?
I don't know if this hat's doing something to me or not, but I don't know if you've ever gotten a piece of metal in your mouth.
Yeah.
With the feeling, and it's like,
yeah.
I don't know if that's doing it to my brain or not. We'll see how long I can keep this hat on for tonight.
Okay.
I've never had my own. I need to get my own little dude hat like you got, but I just went and threw this together real quick. Not real good in arts and crafts, people. Don't make fun of me.
All right. You ever heard of Polymarket?
No, never heard of that.
All right, so let's talk about Polymarket.
Let's talk about it.
And Polymarket is the world's largest prediction market platform. Users trade shares on the outcomes of real-world events like politics, sports, finance, cryptocurrency, culture, geopolitics. You get the point. Just about anything. The share prices reflect the collective estimate of how probable it is for the event to occur. So this is a brief explanation of how this works without getting into extreme details. Not that I fucking know Polymarket in and out, but I'm going to explain it to you. So Polymarket works like a stock market, but instead of buying shares in companies, you buy shares in the outcome of real world events. So imagine a simple yes/no question such as, will it rain in Louisiana tomorrow? So people can buy yes shares or no shares. Each share costs anywhere from $0 to $1. The price tells you what the crowd currently believes the chance is. So if yes shares are trading at 70 cents, the market is saying that there's roughly a 70% chance it will rain. All right. Here's the key part. If you're right and it does rain, every yes share that you own pays you $1. If you're wrong, those shares become worthless. You don't have to wait until the end. You can sell your shares at any time if the price goes up or down based on the information, just like you sell in stock. And there's no bookie or casino setting the odds and taking a cut from both sides. You're trading directly with other people who have different opinions. The price moves purely based on what people are willing to buy and sell. Think of it like a stock market for future events. Instead of trading shares of Apple and Tesla, people trade shares on questions like these actual questions earlier this week. The U.S. announces end of Iranian blockade by December 31st, October 31st. They had roughly 1.5 million in bets. both party nominees for 2028 presidential election. And of course, they got sports bets and even betting on popular gamers beating certain games by a certain date. I didn't even know that was a thing. How many tweets Elon will put out this week, the next James Bond character. I mean, the shit goes on and on. You can bet on anything in Polymarket. The current price of a yes share is basically the crowd's live probability estimate. Everyone who trades is putting real money behind their belief. So the prices tend to be more honest than the regular polls or opinions. In short, you buy a piece of a prediction, and if the prediction comes true, that piece is worth $1. If not, it's worth nothing. The price along the way shows what the crowd thinks the odds really are. So that's Polymarket in a nutshell. Real money betting on speculation. In all honesty, you would think that if you really want to know what the masses think of something, Polymarket would be a good place to look, because that's where people put money where their mouth is. Make sense? When we discussed that you can bet on almost anything, in one episode, I don't remember what it was, we joked about an actual Deadpool. And if you're not familiar with the Deadpool, the movie, in the movie, there's a bar that holds betting on the death of others, which is called the Deadpool. And a while back, when we joked about Deadpool becoming something real, it was funny. But what if it's a possibility for the future? What if we end up with bets on who dies, but we, the average everyday American taxpayer, are not the ones betting? What if the elites, the they thems of the world, are the ones betting on who amongst us will survive?
There's movies on that.
Yeah, I'm going to lay this out. And I'm glad you said that, because there are a lot of things like that. Elites betting on our survival as it is a fucking twisted game. You think about that?
That's...
What was it, like The Running Man and the one with
The Hunger Games?
I'm thinking of more, the Hunger Games is evident, but I'm thinking more of like the ones that they play games with people. I know the Hunger Games was one, but there was some of them.
There's one where it's I forget there was a book, and then I think there was a movie on it too, and I can't remember, but there was like this rich family that had these people come over to their house, and they wined and dined them like they were visitors or whatever. And then they released them out and said, "You've got X amount of time," and then they started hunting them.
I watched that movie because they had A-list actors in it, and they were like the first ones to die, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And there was one so messed up.
Called The Hunted.
Yeah, there was another one where they took them to this island, and they were in this restaurant. It was like this all paid for exclusion or whatever, and then it ended up in this restaurant, and they started killing people in there, like this Michelin star restaurant on an island. I can't remember what that one was. That was a couple years ago. I watched that.
But I think it could be that way. And I seen this. Do you know who Tom McDonald is? He's a rapper, singer. He got a lot of good music. I seen a video from him where he was talking about flock cameras. I'm going to show it to you in a second. And this is what got my mind rolling on what we're about to talk about tonight. Let's check this out.
All right, this is going to sound crazy, but hear me out. People are saying flock cameras are to make the country a surveillance state, but I don't think so. Because it's been a surveillance state for over a decade. Your phone is a tracking device, your smart TV knows your name, your fridge and half your other appliances are listening to everything you say, your fingerprint unlocks your iPad, your face unlocks your iPhone, Alexa, Google, Grok, they all know everything about you and your family and your friends. You've been surveilled for years, they already know everything. So what are flock cameras for? I think it's so that they can watch, like some weird Hunger Games reality show while we all turn on each other and society collapses. Just think about it. They force vaccines and turn men into women and woke wash the kids and brainwash with the news and start wars and raise inflation and cause chaos. It's black versus white, it's left versus right, it's straight versus gay, it's and then they put up cameras everywhere so they can watch the hit the fan from their underground bunkers or their private islands with their perverted billionaire buddies. I don't know. I know it sounds crazy, but just think about it. Have a good one.
Think they can be using flock cameras for that?
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Yeah, after seeing that video, I was like, fuck, maybe Tom's right. No.
We always thought these people were like coming up with these movies because of their vivid imagination. Who's to say they're not coming up with it because they're finally tired of the bullshit and they know this shit and they're just
showing you what the end game is?
yeah.
Hey, you think the flock cameras are going to be used to televise the revolution?
Dude, what was that? There was a show with Stone Cold Steve Austin where he was put in prison and then they took all these prisoners and they put them on an island and they had them going after each other and they had all these cameras and it was a pay-per-view. It was almost like the movie Death Race or whatever.
Yeah, well, that's the kind of movies I was talking about. Shit
Yes.
like that. You know, they already made stuff like that. I think they would use this entertainment.
Yeah, but it was all these like high-profile prisoners, like killers and stuff, right? And the last man standing was going to get his immunity or whatever, get released. But people were watching, right, and betting and all that stuff on who was going to win.
You think that's what Polymarket's conditioning people to do?
I guess.
It could be. When you think of the revolution, what do you think of? When you think of a revolution?
A revolution?
Yeah, like whenever they say the revolution will be televised, a revolution in the United States, what do you think of when you think of a revolution?
Like the American Revolution or whatever, it's when we finally put our foot down and say we're not going to deal with this shit no more, and we have an uprising.
So it would be the people against the they thems of the world.
Yes.
What if that's completely backwards and the revolution is not us versus the they them, but us fighting each other? Because the they them convince us to fight each other. It's the reason why they're keeping us all pent up against each other while they sit back and gamble on our survival.
Well, I guess that could happen.
I mean, look at all the hate we have in this country, how they divide us over everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what if they make groceries and shit scarce? Have you ever seen people panic shop? Like for hurricanes and shit around here?
Yeah, dude. Anytime they say we're going to get snow where I'm at. Next thing you know, Walmart's out of food almost.
Imagine that happening all over the country for a couple weeks or a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
How many people will start killing each other?
Yep.
Over just
you'll do whatever you got to do to eat.
Yeah. So the they thems convince us to fight each other. I'm not saying how they convince us to fight each other. Most people hate each other for no fucking reason as it is. So it wouldn't be hard to get us to fucking kill each other.
Right.
All while they sit back and gamble on our survival like some fucking sick reality show.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. Now, are shows like Survivor and Naked and Afraid and they got other fucking ones like that used to condition us to view the struggle of others as entertainment?
Yeah.
I mean, how about shows like Live PD or On Patrol Live? I love that one, Are these used to slowly condition us to see in the struggle of others as entertainment? And then one day...
we like making fun of those people that they pull over and be like, man, look at these idiots.
Yeah. It's entertainment, and you entertain by the struggle that they're going through. So we're normalizing that, right?
Yeah.
And one day slowly we see Polymarket allowing you to bet on the survival of people while televised for your entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Then one day another comes along and you're no longer the viewer. You became the fucking contestant on the live game show of your survival.
Mm-hmm.
I know that sounds far-fetched, doesn't it?
It's right around the corner.
Now, for those of you that don't believe me, and trust me, I got my fucking tinfoil hat on. I'm not saying this is going to be reality. I'm saying it's possible or plausible, however the fuck you want to put it. But if you don't believe our government and the they thems in this world are not capable of this shit, I'm going to show you some shit that these people have done. All right. So if you don't believe that the government may do something like this, let's look back at some of the past examples of what the government wouldn't do. All right.
Did you know the CIA once paid a psychiatrist to erase people's minds, and his patients thought they were just getting help for depression? His name was Ewan Cameron. He ran one of the most respected psychiatric hospitals in North America. McGill University's Allen Memorial Institute in Montreal. He won awards. He chaired the World Psychiatric Association. Everyone trusted him, and he was destroying people from the inside out. Cameron believed he could cure mental illness by wiping a person's personality completely clean and rebuilding it from scratch. He called it de-patterning. His method was horrifying. Patients were put to sleep for weeks at a time using heavy drugs. They received electroshock treatments up to 40 times stronger than any accepted medical standard. Speakers were placed at their ears, looping recorded messages for 16 hours a day while they were unconscious. These were not criminals or volunteers. They were mothers admitted for postpartum depression, men treated for mild anxiety. They signed forms for normal psychiatric care. They woke up unable to recognize their own children. The CIA funded all of it through front organizations connected to MKUltra. Cameron never faced charges. He died celebrated.
Okay.
That sounds like Fauci, dude.
It does sound like Fauci. Now, this was in Canada, and I get that, but the CIA funded this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they probably did that because they couldn't do that shit in the U.S., so they just threw it over the border to Canada. It was easy to get it. You know, I'm getting that seriously.
No.
Just like Fauci throwing that shit to Wuhan. No, you can't do it in the U.S., but we can give money over there and they can do it.
Yeah.
That sounds like torture, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now, the exact total of people that went through this horror is unknown. According to reports from the Canadian Encyclopedia, over 300 people applied for Canadian compensation in the early 1990s related to these experiments. 77 former patients received payments from the Canadian government, and more than 250 claims were rejected due to insufficient documentation, timing, or, get this shit, not meeting the severity threshold. It was denied. Yeah, you didn't suffer enough. 9 former patients received a settlement from the CIA in 1988, according to Wikipedia. Many patients experienced severe lasting harm, including profound retrograde amnesia, loss of basic skills like toilet training, dressing, recognizing family, cognitive impairment, emotional instability, and reduced ability to function in daily life or work. Some remained in a childlike or highly dependent state for years or permanently. Just like you said, this shit didn't start with Fauci. It ain't fucking stopping with Fauci either. That's fucked up. So you don't think that they can start a game show?
No, I told you they could.
No,
they could easily could.
I'm just, that's rhetorical to everyone.
And we would watch it.
We would. We're conditioning ourselves to do this shit.
Tell me your ass wouldn't watch that shit.
No, I would.
Dude.
I would, just like The Purge. If they put The Purge on television, you know, if it was real, people would fucking watch it.
Yeah.
Until it became real. It's kind of like the shit that we watch going on overseas. You know, it's like you watch the bomb in the Gaza and you think you understand it. Then you go outside and you go do what you want to do. You're not walking around the rubble.
Right.
You know, when that shit becomes real and they hunting you down and somebody's watching you being hunted down, it's totally different, you know?
Well, like I said, a lot of people tell me I'm weird for listening to my own podcast. I'm not, because I go back and listen to it, right? And I pick up on stuff I didn't catch while we were doing it.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about how Israel is taking their kids on field trips to watch bombings.
Yep, the schools were, yep.
Yeah. That's crazy, isn't it?
Normalizing it.
I know. Well, who's to say we can't do it here too?
Oh, we definitely do it here. So the U.S. government has been using the taxpayers as guinea pigs for years. They, them, don't give a fuck about you. You're just cattle in their eyes. You are a human tax.
Mm-hmm.
They, them, the government, and the powerful groups treat everyday people less like citizens and more like a crop to be managed and collected from. In this view, your job, your paycheck, and the taxes that you voluntarily give aren't just part of being a citizen. They're a source that gets farmed year after year to keep the system running, whether it benefits you or not.
Like legalized slavery, baby.
Oh. Think of it as a farmer who raises cows for milk.
Mm-hmm.
The farmer doesn't own the cows because he loves them. He owns them because they produce something valuable, milk, on a regular schedule.
Mm-hmm.
The cows are fed and kept healthy, but only enough to keep them productive, not necessarily their own well-being. The farmer decides when to milk them, how much to take, and what to do with that milk. The cows have no say in any of it. From the farmer's side, this looks efficient and normal. From the cow side, it might look like his whole existence is built around what he can produce for someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So if you apply that to the human tax, people go to work and earn money. This is the milk. The government milks a portion of that income through taxes on a regular built-in schedule every paycheck, every year. Regular people don't get much say in how that money is used, similar to how cows don't get to vote on their milk. The human tax is basically saying, we the taxpayer, we are not citizens participating in a shared system.
Mm-hmm.
We're being treated like livestock, valued mainly for what can be extracted from us. Do you agree with that?
I'm not going to argue that.
It's pretty fucked up, huh?
Yeah, it is.
The human tax.
I told you we're being pimped out, dude.
We're definitely being pimped out. And when I say these people don't give a shit about anyone, I mean, they don't care about anyone. Nobody. All right. I'm sure everybody knows who John Wayne is, right? Anybody our age knows who the fuck John Wayne is.
Yeah.
You know, the younger people might not know. So I get that. But if you don't know who John Wayne is, just Google John Wayne and you'll see what a stud this motherfucker was. So you would think John Wayne, especially in his prime, would get some kind of special treatment, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Listen to this shit.
The government knew before the bombs dropped. In 1953, RKO Pictures was filming The Conqueror in the Utah desert, 137 miles downwind of a Nevada nuclear test site. John Wayne was on set. So was Susan Hayward and nearly 200 other cast and crew members. Before the first detonation, classified weather reports showed the fallout corridor passing directly over their location. The tests went ahead anyway. A government representative was sent to the set, not to stop production. To reassure people everything was fine, they filmed for weeks in that dirt. Some crew members reportedly let their children play in it. Trucks later hauled soil from that location back to Hollywood for reshoots. Of the 220 people documented on location, 91 eventually developed cancer. John Wayne died of it. The director died of it. Susan Hayward died of it. The drift reports existed before a single bomb was detonated. That means someone looked at those maps, looked at that film crew, and made a decision. They just never told anyone what it was.
They made a lot of motherfucking decisions.
I never knew that shit. So they're going to contribute John Wayne's cancer to that fucking nuclear blast?
There wasn't just one. We were about to go over how many nuclear blasts they had in that area, but no, it wasn't just one. Now, I don't know how many was on while he was on that site, but just think about it. That's John motherfucking Wayne.
That's John Wayne, dude.
You take the biggest actor.
He was like the biggest actor back then.
Yeah, you take the biggest actor today, and they just allow nuclear dust just to fly over.
Yeah, Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt.
Well, just let them die.
Mm-hmm.
John, do you think they give a shit about you? So when I seen that, I had to confirm it, and I did confirm it, and then that got me interested in all the fucking bombs they dropped over there. So the Nevada nuclear test site, I mean, they did a fuck ton of testing. And there were a lot of people that died and got sick from this shit. Let's check this.
We detonated 2,400 nuclear bombs on the planet. How many people know that? The Nevada detonations, which they did in total secrecy, we know now from peer-reviewed study the downwind fallout from the Nevada nuclear bomb detonations killed no less than 700,000 Americans. So again, they don't care about the consequences of what they do. We know as far as biological testing, according to the Washington Post, as of 1977, U.S. military had conducted no less than 239 open-air biological tests on innocent, unknowing civilians.
Oh, come on now. Biological warfare tests on Americans? A revolution over a tea tax, dude. I feel like this, you can't put up with this.
Revolution's going to be televised.
Mhm.
But it ain't going to be us versus them. I'm telling you. People are sick, man. Now, I couldn't substantiate the 700,000 people dead claim that he made, but I would assume it's not far from that. These tests affected the people downwind, and these people did not know what nuclear fallout was and was exposed to this shit without knowledge or consent. They said that radioactive fallout from atmospheric tests drifted across large parts of the continental United States, especially the Southwest, Utah, Nevada, Arizona, and neighboring areas, contaminate air, soil, water, and the food chain, notably milk. Populations living downwind, often rural communities, including children and families, were exposed without being informed of risk or given protective guidance at the time. Elevated risk of thyroid cancer, leukemia, and other cancers have been linked to the fallout in scientific estimates and local studies. The National Cancer Institute modeling estimates that roughly 49,000 excess lifetime thyroid cancer cases in the U.S. population from the Nevada test site. However, there is a wide uncertainty range of about 11,300 to 212,000 cancer cases, mostly among people under the age of 20. Additional estimates include roughly 1,800 radiation-linked leukemia deaths and around 22,000 radiation-linked cancers, about half fatal, associated with external and internal exposure from the Nevada test site and global fallout. Many affected individuals and families later developed cancers or other illnesses. Some received compensation under the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act. But get this shit. Again, not all of them were qualified or were covered. But to make it all better, later the government offered apologies.
They apologize.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I know I gave all of y'all cancer, but I apologize. And then it's fucked up. They don't give a fuck about you. So how many tests do you think they conducted between 1945 and 1992 in that area?
Tell us.
The United States conducted approximately 1,030 to 1,054 nuclear tests.
Why?
Well, this includes atmospheric, underground, and underwater tests. Of these, that was worldwide. Of these, 928 occurred on the Nevada test site, 100 atmospheric, and 828 underground. Listen to this shit. The total explosive yield of U.S. nuclear tests is estimated at roughly 179 to 200 megatons of TNT equivalent. 179 to 200 megatons sounds like a lot, right? And I didn't know what the fuck this was, but even if you don't know what a fucking megaton of TNT can do, I'm sure it's a fuck ton of power, right? And the biggest explosion I think we can all relate to would be the atom bombs that were dropped in Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Would that be correct? I mean, we don't really know what it, but when we hear bombs, we think of those bombs, right?
Yeah, that's the mother of all bombs, baby.
So in all the testing, the cumulative explosive energy released in all the U.S. nuclear tests between 1945 and 1992 was on the order of 12,000 to 13,000 times the power of the Hiroshima bomb.
Jeez, dude. And that knocked Japan on its ass, dude.
Yeah. So all that testing. Think about that. And that was all
that
for the
made
good.
them listen. They said time out. Them bastards were going to fight to the death, right? Because they believed that their leader was a god. That's why we had to do what we did to them.
Oh yes, they would not.
And those two bombs said they like okay, all right, time out. Okay, we're done. And you just said that we've done more than 12 to 13,000 times what we did to them.
Yep,
to our own selves.
Yep, to our people. But they did that in the desert. That didn't affect nobody.
They didn't.
They didn't. And they didn't give a fuck.
There was no fallout.
They didn't give a fuck. You wonder why nobody lives in those areas. I mean, I know it's all sand, but look, I'd like to know how many people actually died from that shit and it just never reported.
Hold on. That's like you going to your, you got young kids and you go into your parents' house and they smoke. And that's their prerogative if they smoke, right?
Yep.
But you ask them, hey, while we're over, can you not smoke in the house? Can you take that shit outside and not smoke around my kids? And what do? They take their ass in the fucking bathroom.
I don't know. I never had anyone that smoked in the house. Well, I had friends, but no one in my family.
But I'm just saying. They take
their
ass in the...
Now that I think about it, my uncles and my grandpa and all, they did smoke when I was really small. I forgot about that. Okay.
But they take their ass to the bathroom. Like the cigarette smoke is just going to stay there. Like as soon as they open the door, it ain't going to linger its way out into the hallway and the living room, and it ain't going to spread. It's just going to... I took it in the bathroom. It knows. Me and the cigarette had a talk, and it's going to stay its ass in the bathroom, and it's going to go up through the fart fan. And
now, me and you were both smokers, right? So I'm not trying to shit on the smoker, and I'm not either. I love to be able to smoke in a restaurant. I did, but what you're saying, think about the difference between us, the smoking section and the non-smoking section. The non-smoking section, they still got smoke because us in the smoking section, we smoked a lot.
Yeah, it traveled. Like them trying to say this is the smoking section and the non-smoking section. Like it just stayed there. Like the smoke knew.
Yeah,
like
no wall or nothing. Just
like you're like, and it just said, and it just stayed there. It just stuck. Boop. We can't cross this line.
The disposable ashtrays at McDonald's were the best.
Oh, yeah.
God, that was the best.
It was.
And that was good times. But they don't give a shit about you. I mean, they knew it was fallout.
Come to Kentucky. Look at the cancer rate in the United States. This shit's traveled.
Yeah. What do you think about it? Well, we look at it. We actually have I'm sure a lot of states got it, but what they call Cancer Alley on the river out here in Louisiana because of the plants and shit. So I mean,
the shit they dump in the rivers and shit.
Well, the shit that's in the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
that's what happens whenever you got a poor state and you just accept what you can get.
We got colorful water.
That's right.
Fucking pull fish. Hey, me, my dad, and my dad. I always called him my dad's uncle, but they were cousins because he was only like 3 years.
That was your
younger
dad,
than
uncle, cousin.
He was 3 years younger than my grandpa, but it was my grandpa's oldest sister.
So he was your grandpa's dad's uncle, cousin.
No, my grandpa was his uncle.
Was he his own grandpa?
Will you stop? Jeez. Let me tell the story, Brian. Damn. So anyways, we went fishing. He owned a big recycling place up near St. Louis, right outside of St. Louis, Missouri. So we went up there and we went fishing. And we were fishing and we caught this big ass bass. Well, we got to cleaning the fish and I cut this bastard open to fillet it. It had a big old tumor in it.
It's not the tumor.
It's not the tumor. And we caught it right near a cornfield. So the sprayer, when the guy was spraying weeds and all that herbicide and all that stuff on there, it got into the water.
Yep.
And they try to act like this shit don't cause cancer. Come on, the fish has got a tumor.
Yeah. It don't cause cancer.
Come on, dude.
The FDA told you that. It don't cause cancer. There's a million people that work in the FDA that told you that it don't cause cancer.
Yeah.
So we can agree that our government fucking hates us.
They don't like us.
Well, here's another example. We're going to keep pulling this thread because I want to convince everyone, if you haven't already been convinced, that our elites and our government people would gladly watch us kill ourselves. Gladly watch us do it. But check this out.
Between 1945 and 1975, the U.S. government secretly poisoned its own citizens. They injected plutonium into terminal patients without telling them. They fed radioactive oatmeal to mentally disabled children at breakfast. They exposed prisoners' genitals to radiation just to see what would happen. The victims had code names: HP-1 through HP-18 for the plutonium patients. The children at Fernald School were told they were joining a science club. Doctors falsified medical records. They watched people die slow, agonizing deaths from cancers they had caused. And they wrote it all down like lab notes. Even after the Nuremberg trials established that human experiments were war crimes, American researchers kept going. For 30 years, the government buried the evidence, classified the files, let families wonder why their loved ones wasted away. In 1995, a presidential committee finally admitted the truth. Hundreds of Americans had been used as human guinea pigs in the name of national security. The real horror? We only know about the experiments they documented.
I think they're pretty fucked up, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I got some information that I'm going to put in one of the podcasts eventually. It's about some hospitals that done some of these fucked up experiments and shit. And they got some pretty good documentation on it. I don't have it all together. I've been working on it, but we're going to go over that one week too. Man, these people hate you. And this next video I'm going to show you, it's about 4 minutes long, but it's worth watching or listening to. Whatever. Yeah, it's about how the Army conducted tests on citizens.
This next story is so unbelievable, we didn't think it could possibly be true. But after receiving thousands of records and declassified reports from the Army, it's confirmed that during the Cold War, the United States military conducted secret tests on unsuspecting people in the city of St. Louis. A local sociologist will make her findings public tomorrow, but she spoke first to the I-Team's Lisa Zigman.
Lisa Martino-Taylor's life work has been to uncover details of the Army's ultra-secret military experiments carried out in St. Louis and other cities during the 1950s and 60s.
This study was secretive for a reason. They didn't have volunteers stepping up and saying, yeah, I'll breathe zinc cadmium sulfide with radioactive particles.
These Army archive pictures show how the tests were done in Corpus Christi, Texas in the 1960s. In Texas, planes were used to drop the chemical, but in St. Louis, the Army placed chemical sprayers on buildings and station wagons. City officials were kept in the dark about the tests. The Cold War cover story was that the Army was testing smoke screens to protect cities from a Russian attack. The truth, according to Martino-Taylor, was much more sinister.
It's pretty shocking. The level of duplicity and secrecy, clearly they went to great lengths to deceive people.
By making hundreds of Freedom of Information Act requests, she uncovered once classified documents that confirmed the spraying of zinc cadmium sulfide. The greatest concentration of this compound was sprayed near the Pruitt-Igoe housing complex just south of downtown St. Louis. It was home to 10,000 low-income people, and an estimated 70% were under the age of 12. Martino-Taylor claims they all unknowingly inhaled this compound morning, noon, and night so the government could measure its effects on their lungs.
So this is in violation of all medical ethics, all international codes, and the military's own policy at that time.
In 1994, then Congressman Richard Gephardt asked the Army to open its records and explain the St. Louis testing.
We want to make very sure that nothing went on that would harm anyone and that all the facts are out on the table.
Documents released in the 90s show the Army placed sprayers on this former Knights of Columbus building on Lindell and in Forest Park. The Army always insisted the chemical compound was safe. Martino-Taylor believes documents prove otherwise.
There's a lot of evidence that indicates that people in St. Louis and the city, particularly in minority communities, were subjected to military tests that was connected to a larger radiological weapons development and testing project.
For the first time, she links the St. Louis testing to a company called U.S. Radium, a company notorious for lawsuits involving radioactive contamination of its workers.
The United States Radium had this reputation where they had been found legally liable decades prior for producing a radioactive powdered paint that killed many young women who painted fluorescent watch dials.
While the Army admits it added a fluorescent substance to the zinc cadmium compound, details of whether it was radioactive remains secret. Documents uncovered to date indicate the Army never conducted follow-up studies to see whether the compound caused long-term health issues. In 1972, after years of crime, poverty, and decline, the government destroyed the Pruitt-Igoe housing complex. Lisa Zigman, News Channel 5, I-Team.
Pretty fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
We're just going to blow a bunch of shit. And that's not the only ones. There's multiple. There's so much shit I could put in here to show you how much the government fucking hates you that we can run this thing 5-6 hours easy.
We ain't nothing but guinea pigs.
No. And did you caught the Radium one when they talking about the girls that was licking the brushes?
Oh yeah, because my daughter brought that up. We were in an antique store or something downtown Omaha, walking around, and there was like these clocks and stuff like that. My daughter was like, "Hey, if they're older clocks or whatever, they could have or some kind of chemical on them that these women that built them were getting cancer left and right from them."
Did you know how extreme the cancer was?
I guess it was really bad.
Well, let me give you a little background, and I'm going to show you a video. So what they were told is that if you should lick the brush to keep the point good, right? So you can paint the dial. The shit had radium in it. These ladies' jaws were fucking falling off and shit.
Damn.
Yep. Let's check this shit out.
In 1923, hundreds of young women got their dream job painting watch dials in New Jersey. The pay was good. The work seemed easy, but their employer had a deadly secret. The women used radium paint to make the numbers glow. To create fine brush tips, they were told to lick the brushes clean. It's harmless, supervisors assured them. It'll make you glow beautifully. What the workers didn't know was chilling. In the same building, company scientists handled radium with lead shields and metal tongs. They knew it was lethal, but the women kept licking those brushes, day after day, swallowing radiation. Then Grace Fryer's jaw started falling apart. Her bones crumbled from the inside. She wasn't alone. As more women died horrible deaths, the Radium Corporation covered it up. They bribed doctors, falsified death certificates, fought legal battles for years. These women trusted their employer with their lives. That trust killed them. The Radium Girls case exposed how corporate greed systematically poisoned hundreds of workers who believed they were safe. Their deaths wrote America's first worker safety laws in blood.
That's fucked up.
Really fucked up, huh? And I bet you nothing happened to that fucking company. I didn't check into that, but that is just fucked up. I mean, you know that shit. I mean, you wearing lead fucking shit, you know, and everything you can to touch this stuff, and you telling these ladies to lick the motherfucking brush.
Yep.
Can you imagine if that was your mom, your sister, your wife, or something? And you would just want to kill every fucking person in there. I would. I mean, it would just make me fucking angry as fuck to know that.
Mm-hmm.
But there we are. You know, we just, a slave to the grind.
Yep.
So, anyone feeling like maybe these people would not pin us against each other and watch us kill each other?
This next story is so unbelievable, we didn't think it could
Oh,
possibly
Lord.
be
I hit
true.
that on
But after
accident.
receiving-
That was an accident. All right.
Premature.
Premature. My ejaculated there.
Whatever he said.
Check this one out.
The U.S. government has used its own citizens as test subjects. Not once, not twice. A deliberate, repeated pattern? That's not even the part that's shocking. In 1950, there was Operation Sea Spray. The Navy secretly sprayed biological agents over the entire city of San Francisco. Every man, woman, and child breathed it in. Nobody was warned. And nobody talks about this next part either. Then in 1957, it was Operation Plum Bob. 29 nuclear detonations in Nevada. The government tracked the fallout drifting over populated cities, knew exactly where it was going, and said nothing. But wait, because what happened next changed everything. Later in 1966, Operation Big City took place. The Army released bacteria into the New York City subway during rush hour. Millions inhaled it. The government watched, took notes, and said nothing for decades. Hold on, Because this final part is the whole reason I made this video. Fluoride was added to public water in 1945. No long-term studies, no consent. They didn't acknowledge the neurodevelopmental risks until a federal court forced them to in 2024, 80 years later. You see, they have always used the pretense of looking out for your well-being. Today, glyphosate saturates your food. GMO safety studies were buried, and an mRNA vaccine was injected into hundreds of millions with less than a year of trial data. The truth is, they have always been willing to use you as a guinea pig, without your knowledge, without your consent. They did it countless times before, and they're doing it to you right now. The only thing that changed is how invisible they've gotten at doing it.
Fucked up, man. And I don't give a shit if you're a Democrat or a Republican. It don't matter. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't.
Yeah. Well, we haven't even talked about sides. This has nothing to do with sides. This is both all sides doing this.
Exactly. It's the government, the they, them. You need to understand that. They do not give a fuck about you.
Nope. No, they were making us take fluoride at school.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
You'd have to go.
You go to the dentist and they put that fluoride treatment in your mouth where they put that big dish in your mouth and you have to stick your teeth in it, gag you and stuff. Yeah, like fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
But just guinea pigs. Just guinea pigs. Now, but anyone that still has a doubt that these people that you support would not do this type of shit to you here's one more video before we close up. This is one of our former commander-in-chiefs letting us in on all the government secrets.
Thousands of government-sponsored experiments did take place at hospitals, universities, and military bases around our nation. The goal was to understand the effects of radiation exposure on the human body. While most of the tests were ethical by any standards, some were unethical, not only by today's standards, but by the standards of the time in which they were conducted. They failed both the test of our national values and the test of humanity. In one scientist injected plutonium into 18 patients without their knowledge. In another, doctors exposed indigent cancer patients to excessive doses of radiation, a treatment from which it is virtually impossible that they could ever benefit. The report also demonstrates that these and other experiments were carried out on precisely those citizens who count most on the government for its help, the destitute and the gravely ill. But the dispossessed were not alone. Members of the military, precisely those on whom we and our government count most, they were also test subjects. Informed consent means your doctor tells you the risk of the treatment you are about to undergo. In too many cases, informed consent was withheld. Americans were kept in the dark about the effects of what was being done to them. The deception extended beyond the test subjects themselves to encompass their families and the American people as a whole. For these experiments were kept secret, and they were shrouded not for a compelling reason of national security, but for the simple fear of embarrassment. And that was wrong.
Okay. One problem I have with that whole thing, and I just caught it, as he keeps saying Americans, that will end up being test subjects. What he's failing to say is, when he's saying Americans, he's grouping everybody together. Every single American. Every single American was not part of that testing. You can't make me believe that they've done this around rich areas. You know what I'm getting at? And there's, other than John Wayne,
probably low income people.
Oh yeah, I'm assuming if you just think of the military, it's definitely low income. And I would have that one place that they were spraying all that shit. What it was, St. Louis, then
was
they
a
knocked
housing
the building
authority?
down.
Yeah.
Low income. So yeah, you can sit here and say Americans, but what you really need to say is you're poisoning poor Americans. You singling them out because you're not doing it in the rich areas. I just don't think that you would, and I could be wrong, but I don't think that you would. But now, having said that, everything is good now We had a president apologize about everything. Please move along.
He admitted.
Yeah,
We're good.
We're good. My bad.
My bad. Our bad.
I know y'all had to bury a bunch of people and you got people growing third arms and shit, but my bad.
Sorry.
My bad. Sorry. By the way, can y'all come give blood so we can get tested? Fuck, man. Now we have all kind of examples of shit that you can go. I mean, the government really, again, I love this fucking country. I love our government fucking hates you.
Yes.
They just do. So my last question. Now, this is to everyone, and I know how you feel, Jason, but you can react to. Now that you've seen just a little bit of shit that I showed you, do you believe that the they, them is capable of creating a real world survivor show and watch us all kill each other in real time?
Mm-hmm.
And just place bets on us?
Yeah. I do.
I mean, fuck. It's pretty sad.
Mm-hmm.
It is pretty sad. So, all right. Well, I enjoyed that. Jason, you got anything?
Nope.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us tonight. It was a pleasure spending time with you. Until next time, this is the Sense and Senseless Podcast. I am Bryan.
I'm Jason.
Yeah, y'all. Peace.